Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. It's time again to put together another one of these Star Trek Metal Earth kits. This time I have the Klingon Bird of Prey that I want to put together. I've already done the original Enterprise and the next generation Enterprise D, which leaves me this Klingon Bird of Prey and another Klingon ship. But I've decided I want to put this together next. So let's tear it open and see what we've got. We have our usual two sheets. We've got the usual instructions with a little bit about folding and inserting tabs. Needle nose pliers are helpful for assembly. You've got your blue circle, which indicates bends of 90 degrees, such as these, which you could oftentimes do with your fingernail. This is very soft metal. And you've got your green triangle, where you insert the tab and twist 90 degrees, which would be like these down here. And this one is both sides, so I feel like this is going to be more detailed and involved here. But let's get to it. Things you will need. You will need tweezers. The most handy thing when it comes to putting these kits together. You might also need some long needle nose pliers to get into a few areas to make adjustments. They came in handy for me. A small pocket knife for getting into small areas and bending over tabs. It's really too much for what I need, but it works. You might need a few dowel rods here and there to shape the parts, especially the guns. And a marble may come in handy for bending over and rounding off a few of the parts. In this kit, there are many small angles and curves. It can be tricky to get some of the tabs into their respective slots. Getting parts off the trees or spruce can be tricky. It is helpful sometimes to use tweezers to hold on to the small parts. Sometimes, when joining two pieces together, it is good to wait on bending down the sides or bottom of the piece until you have attached the top piece. This will give you room to bend and twist the tabs, whereas you might not have that room had you bent down the sides of the bottom piece first. Some of the tabs are so close to other parts, I found I had to use something like a pocket knife to pry them away and bend the tabs over. Some folds are too long and narrow to bend all at once. You will need to bend them carefully a little at a time, moving back and forth across the fold. I used my smallest dowel rod to shape the cannon at the end of the wing, still so small that I had to bend it even more with the forceps. It was tricky to get this part together, and even after joining the sides, I had to pinch the ends to force them back into a round shape. The first row of fin pieces on the wing are exactly the same. I decided to start at one end and work my way across. Getting all the fins to line up into the next part was fun, but not as bad as you might think. Just be sure you put the tabs in the correct slot. The next row of fins are numbered directly on the part. There are 3 that are the same, but the rest get smaller as the one before. The next wing goes together just like the first, but mirrored. Now if it looks like the parts come together easy, keep in mind it took over 2 hours to complete this kit. I edited it down to the highlights because who wants to sit through over 2 hours of video? It took me over 10 minutes of bending and slight adjustments to the tabs to get one of the wings on. Now, not all of the parts are going to be that tough to get together, and the other wing did not take as long. When you get towards the end of these kits, putting together the larger parts can be challenging. I used a small marble to help shape a dome-shaped part on the wing. The marble was a little big, and I ended up doing most of the bending with my finger anyway. The last 3 parts required a lot of careful bending by hand. It will take some time to get these parts bent so that it fits into the slots. I fought with the last piece for quite a while, trying to get it to lay down flat. Eventually, I realized that you have to push the wings down to spread the fins apart, and then the top part fits. The last few tabs in the very back of the top part were stretched to get into place, but I eventually got it. All finished, and nice looking, I have to say. Really enjoyed this kit. I had stated when I was looking at the instructions earlier that this kit was going to be more detailed and involved. And I was right. There was a lot of little parts to worry with, and it made the kit seem long. But it was worth it. It made for a very nice detailed kit. I really enjoyed how this turned out. You know, you're basically bending a bunch of flat metal sheets into different shapes, and putting them together into ships. And certain kits I have done, they looked okay, wasn't bad, but just something about the shape of the ship and the way that the different parts come together, this just looks really nice. I think this is quite possibly my favorite Metal Earth kit thus far, and certainly my favorite Star Trek Metal Earth kit so far. Well done, Metal Earth. Well done, Fascinations. But if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.